A bit of background for this story. At the school I go to, the Year 13 students must be a teacher aide for the Year 9 students for one period every day. I'm rotated around 5 different classes, and today I was with one of the, slower classes. Anyways, these kids are a bunch of little shits normally, and today it was much worse because we had a reliever. So they were all talking, not doing their work, throwing paper around. The teacher was trying to control them, but she was pretty hopeless. Usually, I don't step in on the teacher to deal with behavior issues, but it was getting pretty bad. One kid threw something at another's head, and that nearly started a punch-up. The teacher had started yelling, so at that point I decided to step in. A tactic I used with another class when I was left alone with them was to pick a few unlucky motherfuckers and start screaming them to make an example of them. It was quite effective as I don't usually say much or even talk loudly. So I waited for a second to pick out my victim. I decided to target one fat little prick who just didn't give a shit about anyone. So when I built myself up, I calmly walked over to him, slammed my hands on his desk, and yelled as loud as I possibly could and made it look like I was about to tear off his nuts. When I was done, silence was all that remained. I'm pretty sure that even the class next door had stopped talking. Everyone kept their heads down or returned to their work, except one kid who got up from his desk and walked over to the teacher with a dazed look in his eye. He asked to go outside for a bit. Turns out he has epilepsy, and I may have caused him to have an episode at his desk. Oops. I later apologized. He said he was fine and actually thought it was pretty funny that everyone instantly shut up. TLDR, used the power of the Thum to cause a kid to have a seizure. When I come back, I'm greeted by my principal and resource officer. They tell me to come with them. Everyone's looking at me like I'm a murderer, so I tell them all right and go. I have my death ray plans spread before me on a table and have no idea what's happening. They demand to know where my weapon stash is and why I'm planning something. I refuse to answer anything without the presence of my mother.